Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Pointy Not Sharp. Today I'm doing an additional video to the British L3A1 bayonet, specifically to the attachments that connect to the scabbard. So I've done a previous video on this bayonet and a short as well. The short took off and went a little bit viral, like 200,000 views on last check, and that's pretty bloody good for me. Now, I've stated that the bayonet is relatively rubbish. It's heavy, it's not particularly good. But the scabbard, I'm going to argue, is probably the best bayonet scabbard out there. Like, when you take a look at it, there's virtually no wasted space whatsoever. I like the fact that it's modular as well, so it has a whole bunch of attachments that you can give to frontline soldiers who are going to need them. Those attachments being expensive, so they can be removed and just have the bare bones scabbard like this for a reserve role, soldiers who don't need the extra expense invested in them. I also like the fact that the tools are replaceable, so when they wear out, like the saw blade or the sharpening stone or the wire cutter, they're easily replaced by an armourer. So I highly rate that. Anyway, we'll jump into the actual video itself. So a viewer was kind enough to get some of the attachments for me. So he watched one of the other videos and he's volunteered them. So let's open up the package and have a look. Now, I know shipping in the UK can be a bit of a nightmare. So he's definitely gone over the top for safety for any customs official who has to open this, as well as making it very, very clear what it is. Oh my god. I know it's very hard to ship. Very difficult to ship bayonets in the UK. I heard a lot of people are having issues with them getting intercepted by customs. There's more in there, I can see it. I think the last is just a bit of paper towel. Probably don't need that. So, looks like we've got our screws and washers, or our little bolts and washers. We've got saw blade. That's nothing. We've got the wire cutter attachment and the Allen key to fit them all together. So I'll move all of that to the side. And we'll go through the assembly of the scabbard. So first off, I'm going to open up all of these little packages. So we've got the saw blade, sharpening stone. Quite like that, it's very porous. Wire cutter. The wire cutter's really heavy actually. I feel like there's a lot of weight that probably doesn't need to be in that. Alright, what have we got? Got the washer for the saw blade. That goes with the saw blade. Those are our 3 little screws. And our 2 inserts. Okay, so our 3 inserts here, they go in the back of the scabbard. So 2 gold ones go in the left, and the silver coloured one goes in the right. Now, they've got knurling on the sides, if I can get that to focus. So they've got to be hammered in a little bit. You can't just get them in under finger pressure, so I might do that quickly off camera. Okay, I've hammered those in. It actually took quite a bit of effort to hammer those in. They did not want to go. So, sharpening stone sits in there like so. Wire cutter attachment, sorry, washer first goes over the top of the silver one. Wire cutter attachment goes over the top of the silver one. Get in there. And wire cutter attachment goes over the top. And I've got my 3 little bolts. And they each just go in there. We've got our Allen key to put the bolts in, which is really convenient. Again, this is quite difficult to do on camera, so I might jump off camera for a second. And there we have it. I've put our 3 bolts in off camera. So we've got our saw blade, which pivots out the side. I love the idea of a replaceable saw blade when it gets too worn. Just swap it out for another. It looks like a reasonably cheap to manufacture part. We've got a, I think that's an NSN on the side there, possibly. I don't know. And it clips into the side of the scabbard like that. Got a little plastic retention catch up there. Now it is actually quite difficult to get out. I found it's probably easiest to do with the bayonet. So you just pop it out with the tip and pivots out and clicks into place. The wire cutter feels a lot more solid than any other I've come across. So if I can get that clip in, there we go. That feels a lot stronger, a lot more powerful than any of the others, like the AK, the KCBs, the M9. So I'd probably rate this as the single best wire cutter on a bayonet. So I stand by what I said about the bayonet itself. The bayonet itself, it's rubbish. I don't like the handle, it's too heavy, don't like the mounting device, I don't like the material it's made out of or the finish. But the scabbard is world class. In my opinion, it's the single best scabbard made for any bayonet. Now, the old style of, I call it a frog, but it's kind of a sheath that the scabbard goes into. Very, very large, very, very cumbersome. It makes a lot more sense when you put the full-size scabbard in there. When you only have the short reserve one, it's a lot of extra wasted space. But I understand they've got modern solutions which are a lot smaller than this. But that's the updated scabbard, and yeah, I really like it. I'm definitely a fan. It's definitely a lot heavier in the wire cutter than it probably needs to be. You could probably shed some weight out of that, but as I said, it's an absolutely solid tool. Like, a little bit fiddly to get the wire cutter through, but once it's in there, that is bloody solid. Well, that's all I've really got to say about this bayonet today. It's definitely redeemed itself a little bit in my eyes. Again, still not a fan of the bayonet, but the scabbard, wow. If I've missed anything or you got anything to add, feel free to comment below. I'd love to hear from you, and thanks for watching.